They're witches.
So, apparently I'm a witch.
Because she's a witch.
We've got a witch!
I'm the love witch.
I am a witch.
I am a witch.
I'm a witch!
Sally just came out.
Now the witch is back!
Lisa is such a good tarot reader. I've experienced that for myself because Lisa's read for me quite a few times. But as a mod on her channel, I've also seen loads of times when people have said things like, oh yeah, that really resonates, or that's exactly it, you've hit the nail on the head. And because she doesn't sugarcoat, she just tells it like it is. It can really be quite an emotional and cathartic experience because they're not just being told what they want to hear, they're being told, as she says it, what you need to know. So I definitely recommend her. It's a really good idea to sign up for one of her memberships because they're such good value. You can be part of private live streams that take place before the main ones. And then you're in a much smaller group of people, so you're not competing with all these other people to get a reading. And it's also just a chance to chat with other like-minded people who have that kind of spirituality.
Yes, indeed. It absolutely is. So good evening, everybody. Hopefully the notifications have gone out on the YouTube live. So good evening. I hope everybody is doing fantastically well this Sunday evening. Oops, I've just realised I've got the wrong logo on. I've got the members only logo on. There we go, just change that around. So yes, as I say, we've just done a members only live stream. I did a couple of reading for the reading. Yeah, I read one book. Yeah, no, did a couple of readings for the members over there. So that's always a really good place. If you're looking for a reading, I can be a little bit freer there because it isn't a monetized stream. So because of that, I can use, you know, the occasional bad language. You might have noticed I used to have a little ident that played warning people about adult language. These days, I try very hard not to use the adulty language on this particular or on the main live streams on my channel, live streams. Words are difficult today. Purely and simply because YouTube doesn't like it and it starts not pushing the channel out and doing things like that. So yay, if anyone wonders why that stopped, that is the reason. So I'm having to go back into my radio days of being very mindful of the types of language that I use when I'm streaming. But all of that being said, it doesn't mean I'm any less authentic. It just means I have to be a little less overt with the adulty language. But anyway, good evening to everybody that is coming in on the live stream. Let me go ahead and bring up the chat. Hang on a second, everybody. There we go. That's the one I'm looking for there. Oh, bear with. There's a technical glitch. I can see the line around it, everyone. Bear with. That shouldn't be doing that. I don't know why it is. So let me just crop that down on that one and bring that to there. Here we go. Look, this live stream is the best. Apparently so, according to a sample user. Right, there we go. So hopefully that should change that. And let's have a wee look. I'm here now. Thank you very much, Patricia, for letting people know. Hello all, says Ed. Don't forget to do the YouTubey things. If you haven't done already, please give us a like. That's really wonderful. And also hit that subscribe button and ding your bell so that YouTube notifies you each and every time I go live. Look, I'm getting used to my buttons again. I'm getting used to everything working again. Now we've fully changed over from StreamYard, over to doing it all in-house. It makes it all a lot harder, but it does also, you know, I'm back getting the hang of things. So that's really good. Let me just, having said all of that, let me see if I can very quickly go here. Okie dokie. And boop-a-doop-a-doo, boop-a-doop-a-doo. There we go. That should make it a little bit easier to see. Nope. Doesn't want to do it. Okay, never mind. It's all good. Right. Ed and Patricia and obviously Lisa. Hey, Dormouse. And anyone else who joins. How is everybody? I am doing rather well today. Thank you very much for asking. I hope you're good. Hello, Gemini. Are you a Gemini? 25? Does that mean you're a Gemini who's 25 years old? I don't know. You've got a sleepy pupper, Ed. How is Rue? Yeah, how's Rue doing? I was going to ask. Oh, Rue is brighter. Oh, I'm so pleased, Dormouse. I'm so pleased. You're doing okay and Rue is brighter. I will let Rufus know as well, because we said the other day, there's nothing worse than when one of your fur babies is poorly. It's so upsetting, isn't it? Because even if they're just off their colour or off kilter slightly, and because they can't speak. Oh, it's horrible, isn't it? You're just like, oh, please let me know. Please let me know how you are. Like, speak to me. Give me one nod, one tail wag if you need food, one tail wag if you need a toilet, one tail wag. Do you know what I mean? We have got the buttons. You can buy them on Amazon. Other websites are also available. But you can buy these buttons that you record and you use it to let the dog can then press it to tell you what they want. We have got them for the new one as well as for Eddie, and he was really good at pressing it and going one of them says wee wees, toilet, and you press the button and it lets us know that he needs to go out for a wee. So we're starting to bring those back now. I do need to re-record the voices because some of them are a bit rubbish and what the thing is. But you can teach. There's someone on YouTube that's got a whole wall of them, and the dog presses them and he does all sorts of things. The dog can say the B word, so he goes food, and then goes mummy, bitch, no food, and he's basically saying mummy's a B word because there's no food for them. It's so amazing, really, really cool. But anyway, you are a Gemini, but you're not 25. I am also. When is your birthday then, Gemini 25? Is it the 25th? No, it won't be the 25th of June, would it? It would be the 25th of May. Have you had yours? Is yours coming up as a fellow Gemini? I know, right? How many times during Gemini month do you get told or asked, does that mean you're two-faced? And I always say, no, because if I was two-faced, why would I wear this one? There is no universe that this is the better of two faces. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely not. With all the craggly lines and all the bits and bobs and the moles and the bits of... No. If I had another face to wear, it would probably be a better face than this one. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Rue was flat all week, but Grumpy has a Chinese and is Rue's favourite prawn cracker. Well, there you go then. That's fine. If Rue is well enough to perk up and start going after the prawn crackers, then that's when you know that, he's doing all right or she's doing all right. They're doing all right. Friday the 13th this year. Friday the 13th. Ooh. Be careful out there. Be careful of anyone wearing hockey masks or sacks or a mother wearing a pale blue jumper. Yes, that's all the villains from the first three Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th films. There you go. Two different personalities. I don't have two different personalities. I have a slightly more full-on version, and so my YouTube version is a little bit pared back actually on some things and more brought forward in terms of others. Does that make sense? Like, I'm very aware when I'm on YouTube, I can't just sit there and silently like this thinking about stuff, whereas quite often off camera and everything else, I can just sit there and get lost in my thoughts. It doesn't really make for good streaming entertainment, does it? Anyway, it doesn't make good for good tarot reading either, which is what we are here for today. So then, as always, for the month of June, it is Pride Month, obviously, and certain other folks can go away and they can call June whatever month they want to call, and they can renaming a naval warship because it was called the USS Harvey Milk. I mean, how stupid, petty, and bloody threatened does that man's masculinity, how threat is that man's masculinity? Do you know what I mean? For all of that, that is just redunculous, absolutely redunculous. But yes, I've just seen that message from Patricia. I meant to say happy birthday for this coming week.
Happy birthday!
Yay! In fact, hang on, if you are a do I still have it? Bear with, before I try and do something. Do I still... Oh, I didn't transfer it across. Oh, bugger. Oh, I thought I did. I thought I transferred it across. I don't have it. But anyway, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Gemini, can I teach you the birthday song? Right? It's not happy birthday to you. It's not that one. It's not happy birthday. It's not that one either. Right? It's this. It goes... This is the birthday song. It does go on and on. It is the birthday song. It does go on and on. It is the birthday song. It can be very long. It is the birthday song. It does go on and on. It is the birthday song. It is the birthday song. It does go on and on. It is the birthday song. It is the birthday song. It can be very long. It is the birthday song. It does go on and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. Yeah, it's something that me and Rufus now do, and we try and see. It's so stupid. We try and see how long we can get it going to wind the other one up. So when it's Rufus's birthday, I will sing it to him to the point where it just becomes an earworm. It's very funny, and then he does it to me. So yes, there you go, everybody. I've now taught you all the birthday song. It does go on and on. So whenever it's somebody's birthday close to you, sing them the patented, uncopyrighted, but sing them the patented birthday song. The true, the best, the most wonderful, on and on, long, on and on birthday song. And you've got to sing it slightly off key, slightly, you know, yes. Yes, it's got to be sung until you're suddenly living in one of those really nice rooms that have the padded walls. Honestly, and it does become an earworm. It is very amusing. But yes, have a wonderful birthday when it arrives. Happy birthday to all the Geminis out there. Yay. Right then, so we're going to be doing some tarot readings on this channel. How do you get a reading? What is it all about? It's dead simple. There are two ways to get a reading on this channel. The first way, I've just realised I've got the wrong doodah on. The first way is, of course, to go ahead and... Hold on a second. That one instead of that one. There you go. The first way is to go ahead, wait until we open up a free round. The round will start when you hear this noise. That means a round is open. At that point, I will put into the chat, I'll announce a round is open. Then it is your turn to go ahead and post your question in the chat. Start with the word question. That's really, really important. And then one of those will get picked at random by the keeper of the questions, who's one of our lovely moderators. At that point, I will read for that person. Okay, when I've done that reading, we'll open up a whole brand new round. Why don't I have a list on this channel? Because we've done that in the past and people leave and then they come back and they leave. I'll call their name for their reading. They'll disappear off. Then they're not here. Then we've wasted 4 minutes of me going, hello, can Ghostface 29 please come for their reading? Ghostface 29, are you here? Let me know. Nope. Okay, you're not here. And then I'll go through a couple of other names before we find someone. So that was just taken up. And then Ghostface 29 will pop back in and go, oh, sorry, I was watching someone else's feed. Have you called me yet? Can I have my reading now? And it's like, it just causes a hassle. So that's why we don't do that. We do one reading, open a round, loads of people that are in the chat now, put your questions in, one gets selected, we do that reading, we open another round. If you would like to, you can send your question in the form of a super chat. That way, it goes straight to the top of the list. It basically becomes the next reading that I do. So right now, if you send a super chat, that will come straight in. You'll be the first person. If it's after the first round, you'll be the second person, and so on and so forth. If I get more than one super chat in at any one time, I'll read them in the order they come in. So one person might send a $5 super chat. Somebody else might send a $50 super chat. The 50 doesn't get priority over the 5. However, any super chat of $10 or £8 or more does get a longer reading. So standard on this channel are 3 card readings. Sometimes a card will flip when we do a 4 card reading, but standard 3 card readings are what we do. And then as it goes along, if somebody super chats, as I say, over that $10 or £8 or the equivalent currency, then at that point they get a 6 or 7 card reading, and it goes into more detail and more depth. All of that being said, this is very much live on the YouTubes, so do please be aware of that. Yeah, because this is live, yeah. Before we go on, here's the housekeeping. Tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counselling advice. If you're looking for support in these areas, please do seek out professionals in these areas. You do have to be 18 years of age or over to get a tarot reading on this channel. And remember, please don't share private information here or anywhere else on the internet that you wouldn't want anyone or everyone finding out about now or anytime in the future. Absolutely, that is very, very, very important. So as I was saying, it is Pride Month. You can tell up here, these are not just here for Pride. Everybody is welcome on this channel. All that we ask is that you are polite and respectful. You may not agree with other people's opinions, lifestyles, or whatever. That's fine. Just don't be a dick about it. Okay, we are fully inclusive here and proud to be fully, diverse, inclusive, and everything. Yes, we are. This is a safe space for everybody, and our moderators here do an amazing job of keeping it that way. So again, I just want to say before we go any further, thank you very much to the moderators for absolutely everything they do on this channel. You lot are amazing, and I love you all. That being said, let's go ahead and get the first round started, shall we? The round is now open, so do please go ahead, pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. One of those will get selected at random by one of our lovely moderators, who is the keeper of the questions tonight. That way, it completely randomizes it and means that I don't have any kind of... what is it they call it? Skin in the game? Is that right? Is that what the Americans say? I don't have any anything in this. I can't pick and choose favourites or anything like that. I just go by what the moderators say and the keeper of the question says. So then, you've got about 30 seconds. Get your questions in if you want a reading. The first round is now open. Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3 card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. And if you need help, just ask one of our mods. Yes, indeed. Do ask one of our mods. You can always tell who the moderators are, by the way, because their name is in blue and they've got a little spanner icon or a wrench next to their name. That's how you can tell who the moderators are. And apologies, mods. I've just realised I don't have the WhatsApp group up. Bear with me. There we go. I've got it up now. So, yeah, I can see what you're talking about now. So, yay, thank you very much. Right then. We have Gemini 25. Gemini 25. Hello, Gemini. Good evening to you, Gemini 25. Let me just get your question up on the chat. There we go. What is coming up in the next 2 months for love? L'amour. L'amour, l'amour, l'amour. Is that right? Should it be l'amour? I don't know. I'm not very good with the languages. I'm not very good with the speaking, full stop, am I really? Right, let's go across to the other camera. There we go. We've got the top down position. And as always, we are going to start with dinging the bell. Why do we ding the bell? Because it's a way of cleansing the space between readings. I have, by the way, got to warn you, if you do hear music playing, our lovely neighbour next door has just turned their music up. It was on, it's now been turned up, and unfortunately it is quite loud. So yes, if you can hear that, then that is where that's coming from, so do just please bear with. Right then, so Gemini 25, what is coming in the next 2 months for love? Let's see what we can do for you. Let's bring in Wispy. Let's have a look then. What is coming up, Wispy, in the next couple of months? I've just seen a super chat come in. Hakeem the Dream, good evening to you, my darling. I will do your reading straight after this one for Gemini. So hang on in there, Hakeem. I'd already announced Gemini, and so you will be straight after this, my darling. But thank you very much for your donation. Don't forget, everybody, if you do donate on the channel, either as a form of a super chat or super thanks or a super sticker, or if you become one of our members on this channel, once YouTube takes its cut, anything that's once the 30% is off for YouTube, what's left, 10% goes to the PDSA, which is a animal charity here in the UK. They help provide operations and medical care for animals and pets that would otherwise their owners and their humans wouldn't necessarily be able to afford it. And we also donate 10% to, in this case, it's going to be to a UK-wide LGBTQIA plus charity. So yeah, thank you very much for all of your donations, and yeah, that's what happens to the money. The rest of it comes through and we plow it all back into the channel. So thank you very much to those of you who choose to donate or to ask questions that way. Right then, so Gemini 25, what's coming in the next 2 months? So we'll have a look. Wispy, we want a definitive next 2 months. Now 2 months is normally pushing it, Gemini. I always say we do about up to about 6 weeks, so we'll try and see in general what is coming up for you. Okay, Wispy, I'm going to pull this as a 3-card total looking at the next 2 months rather than a week by week. Okay, that's what we're looking at, Wispy. Wispy is my elemental air dragon. I'll pop the details in the chat now. And Wispy basically is an egregore whose role is to gather the knowledge from the Akashic records and to zap it into the cards, a bit like that, right? There's a whole podcast episode. It's linked in the chat. It's also linked down below if you want to know more. So then, let's have a look. The next 3 months as a whole. Ooh, we've got the Knight of Cups. There is love energy coming in. We've got the 4 of Swords coming in as well, reversed. So there are some issues you need to deal with. And the 6 of Swords. Right, okay. You've got stuff you need to clear out, Gemini. You have... Oh, my God. Right, so... if this is representative of you, obviously, Gemini, we only know your star sign. We don't know your gender, your sexuality, or anything like that, nor do we need to know. All I'm saying is that this could be an element that represents you. So whatever your gender, the Knight could well be you, or it could represent somebody in your life, either as a potential partner or somebody that may or may not already be around. Okay, that's what the court cards often represent. Now, Cups is all about your emotional side, so this is all about your love, your feelings, you know, all of that sort of. For me, Cups is the more positive. If it's reversed, it will be sadness and sorrow. This way up, it's always going to be a positive emotion. So we've got the Knight of Cups. Knights are about jumping in where angels fear to tread. They're about going off, perhaps a little bit half-cocked, just running off and off they go on an adventure without thinking things through. I always describe them as the teenage vibe of the deck. So it's that element of not really thinking about the repercussions. And this is basically saying, if this represents you rather than a partner, then it's saying that I think you may be somebody who falls in love very easily, who absolutely kind of... not necessarily that somebody in a supermarket or somebody in a restaurant smiles at you and you immediately think that person is making a play. Not quite like that, but I think it's, you know, I think you're how can I put it? Not easily led, but I think this card is saying that if somebody is, let me put it this way. I think if you're interested in someone, you might not see the red flags, right? You might let certain things go where you aren't quite as cautious, because once you start to feel the feels, at that point, you kind of, it bypasses the logic center in your brain. Does that make sense? And you go, oh, well, you know, I know that this one's married, but they did say they're separated. Or I know this one's, you know, in another state or in another part of the country, but, you know, we can do long distance. Do you know what I mean? You start accepting things that would normally be a line in the sand for you. So be aware of that, because it does say this card coming up for the next couple of months in and of itself isn't a bad thing in any way, right? Being open and honest and wearing your heart on the sleeve and all of that is a fantastic thing if it wasn't for these next two cards, because what they're saying is that there's a certain element here with the Four of Swords of stagnancy in your love life. Now, what do I mean by stagnancy? I literally mean there is an element here where things, either you've been single for a while or there's been no excitement for a while. And so that's what the Four reversed is giving. But the Swords is saying that there is an element here where it kind of brings its own issues. It kind of brings perhaps a willingness to not see red flags, right? Again, with this Knight, it's saying that this romantic energy that's coming in, or any romantic energy that's here in the next couple of months, this Four of Swords for me is hurdles. It's the troubles and strife of life. It's the obstacles. It's the challenges. And this coming in is saying that there is something here, right, that would normally be seen as a red flag. So if there is something that you are perhaps doing, or if there is something, thank you, Patricia, if there is something that you are perhaps, you know, maybe repeating a cycle, maybe looking at talking to an ex or something like that, be very careful, because it feels like you've been down this road before, right? It feels like all that's going to happen is this stagnant energy is going to be back. So absolutely, if there is an ex in the picture, however much you want to believe them, however much you want to, you know, make contact and message that ex, don't do that, right? Stay away from that, because it is just going to bring that same sense of stagnancy, that same sense of all those problems are going to come back, and probably worse. But that then does lead us to the Six of Swords. Now, right at the very beginning, I said there's stuff here that you need to deal with. The Six of Swords is an attempt. Sixes for me are about community and the people around you, your network, your safety net, if you like. And Swords in the Six is all about trying to move forward, trying to move away from your issues, perhaps physically, perhaps with, you know, maybe other people, if that makes sense. But you're taking those issues with you, right? Literally, you've got the swords. And so if you've come out of a relationship recently, you need to leave it time to heal, right? If there is an ex or a pattern that you recognize that maybe an ex did, which this Four is bringing up, you need to deal with it before you take that baggage with you. Because this is absolutely saying, look, you've got these three people on this boat. They're moving across this river, this waterway. Off they go on their journey. They're absolutely moving, traveling. And yet these swords are going with them. These swords represent those issues, those hurdles, those challenges. And they're taking them with them. So it's like moving to America, right? But you're taking all of the badness from your hometown. You're taking that with you. Do you know what I mean? Like back in the olden days where people would migrate a lot, well, I would say a lot easier, but where people would migrate and they would leave certain countries and move to others, and it would be a, you know, you're going there for a fresh start. This feels like you're trying to get a fresh start in romance, but you're taking these issues with you, right? So do be careful with that, Gemini. I think overall, the next 2 months, I don't think there is a brand new love energy coming in. It doesn't feel like there's a brand new big hearts and flowers romance coming your way. It doesn't feel like this is a moment. It really doesn't feel like that. But it does feel as if there's either going to be maybe an ex still in the picture, or something to do with a relationship that went a bit dodgy that's coming back in. That isn't to say that there isn't a little bit of this.
Oh my.
A bit of a physical connection, okay? So it may well be that there is some sort of physical situationship, a little bit of, you know, spending some time together in an adult way with some people or with a person. It feels like that might come in, but be careful of this X energy, because if you haven't dealt with these problems, you may not see red flags if they're coming back, right? You may not see red flags that are there because of whatever happened in the past. I hope that makes some sense. But yeah, thank you very much. That is going to be your reading, Gemini, and I hope that that helps. I hope it gives you some answers. Again, I always say it's probably not the reading that you wanted to have, but it is what you need to know. Right, let me have, you understand working through issues and trying to heal through a heartbreak. Go with it, learn those lessons. Try not to take that baggage with you, right? If that means counselling, get counselling. If honestly, otherwise, all you're going to do is you could move to another area, you could move on physically or whatever else. If you haven't dealt with that baggage, it's just going to stay the same. Right, before I go to Hakeem, I can smell smoke. Now, I don't know whether that is just my neighbours having a bonfire or something, or whether my other half is burning something in the garden. But because he can't smell, since COVID, he can't smell smoke. So there's been times where, you know, we've had things burning in the kitchen and he wasn't able to smell it. I'm going to just double check just to make sure. So do bear with me 1 second. Hakeem the Dream, I'll be up after this. I do apologise, but there's something is burning. I just want to make sure it's not the flat. Bear with. I'm gonna put the coffee shop on. Don't go anywhere. I will be back. Unless there is an actual fire, in which case I'll update you on my phone. But bear with. I'll be maybe less than a minute.
Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your free card reading is next.
No. Hang on. That other one shouldn't have been sent. Hold on. Right, this one. all good. Thank you for allowing me a couple of seconds. I had to go and double check. We've got a fire going in the garden. So yes, thank you. Yes, it could have done. I was smelling it all the way through that reading. But again, it's actually Rufus in the garden, burning some wood and bits from. It's actually from the neighbour's hedge. But anyway, yeah. So thank you. It does help. Oh, thank you very much, Gemini. Don't forget, we're here every Sunday and Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. UK time, if you'd like to join us. We've got memberships available and everything if you'd like to join us. Oh, and I'm supposed to say, thank you. Trying to work through this and going to counselling. It's been 1.5 since heartbreak, but it's going slowly. Thanks so much. No problem at all, my darling. Small steps. Exactly. You'll enjoy your coffee in the coffee shop. I know, right? It's good, isn't it? Right, Hakeem, I do apologise about that, my friend. Let me go back to get your message. There we go. Oh, right then. Okay, I can relax now knowing that the flat isn't burning down. Honestly, since COVID, unfortunately, he's got no sense of smell. So, like, one day he was cooking and all the water, he was boiling something, I can't remember what I was cooking. I think it was doing some potatoes to make roast potatoes, and the pan had boiled dry and was smoking everywhere, and he'd just had a little nap. He'd sat on the sofa and just nodded for a couple of minutes, but it basically, the kitchen was starting to fill up with smoke and he was just happily sat there because he couldn't smell it. So I was like, ah! So yeah, unfortunately, COVID really did do a number on him. But anyway, right, let's have a look at this for you, Hakeem. I do apologise. Right. All's good. All's good in the hood. Right, here we go. Except now I'm choking on my coffee. Right. Hakeem wants to know, what was Yizza's true intentions towards you last fall, and what's her current feelings towards you? Will she reach out to you? Let's have a look for you, my darling. So, as always, we're going to cleanse the space. Now, because you have donated $20, you are obviously going to get a longer reading. And we're going to invite Wispy. Wispy, my darling. Hakeem the Dream would like a reading. We want to know what is Yizza's true intentions towards them last fall. What was Yizza's intention towards Hakeem, and where are we now with it? What's her current feelings, and will she reach out? That's what we want to know. Okay, we're doing a 6 card. Okay, so okay, Wispy, what we're going to do is where we are, what we need to know, and what the future holds for the relationship on the top 3. But we're going to do an inverted triangle. Okay, Wispy? So we're going to do it as an inverted triangle. And, yay. That will make sense. Oh. The purple wire for my Stream Deck keeps flopping into view. I know I bought a new Stream... Well, I didn't buy a new Stream Deck. Rufus bought it for me for my birthday. I was allowed to open it early. It works. Buttons work. It's so amazing. When things work, it goes so much smoother, doesn't it? Right then. So, here we go, Hakeem. Where you are right now, or where Yizza's... Oh, we've got the Knight of Cups. We've just had that. You saw me shuffle it. I shuffled. I cut the deck, everything. And that's come back. So this is what Wispy likes to do. Wispy likes to give us repeat cards. So we've got the Knight of Cups. Okay, that's where we are now. That's where Yizza is. What you need to know, we've got the 4 of Pentacles, right? You're holding on for the sake of holding on. And what have we got in the to come element? Oh, we've got the 10 of Swords reversed. Okay. Right then, so if we take that as our top line, how do we link, Wispy, how do we link the Knight of Cups to the 4? We link with the Knight of Pentacles. Well, that makes perfect sense. A knight leading linking to Pentacles. We've got the Knight of Pentacles linking the two. How do we link from the Four of Pentacles to the Ten of Swords? We go with the Four of Cups. Okay, another 4. Okay, and we link these two together. What is the root of it all? What is the root of Yiza's true intentions and feelings? What is the root? We've got the 9 of Cups reversed. Okay, Hakeem. Right, so first things first. We'll do your top line. Okay, so let's just move these down just so we can see the top line. So where you are right now between you, we've got the Knight of Cups. I don't know whether this is... Okay, Wispy, thank you. I was about to say I don't know whether it's your intentions or Yiza's, but it's instantly it is Yiza's. I think you're asking what the intentions were last fall. This would be in the sort of the where you are stroke past position. It's always in the energy that's coming up to the now. I don't want to say that there wasn't a true love connection, but it feels very much like it could have been the first flush of love for Yiza, right? It could have been that first element of feeling close to someone, and that's making you feel like, oh my God, I'm so in love. Whereas actually, it might just be a passing infatuation. It might just be a passing phase. It might just be, you know, a friendship connection that's feels like love because you haven't got that connection before. Whatever it is, it doesn't feel as if it was a strong love bond for Yiza. So if there was an interest, it's like that interest came in and then perhaps got misinterpreted a bit because that teenage energy with the knights, and then it's gone. Because again, I always think of a knight as being, you know, they ride into a village, they break a few hearts, or they break a heart, they ride off to the next village, they break a heart, they ride on to the next. Do you know what I mean? There's that element with the knights of sort of being all sexy. Do you know what I mean? They're on horseback, whatever the race, whatever the gender, whatever the age, you know, you put somebody on horseback galloping in. A, you've got to look up to them physically. B, you know, chances are in ye olden days of being knights, you know, they're in a nice sharp suit of armor that's all shiny and glittery. They've got a bit of money behind them. They're on horseback. They look well turned out. They're knights from the King's Guard or the Queen's Guard or whatever it is. So at that point you think, ooh, this person's a bit flashy. It's the equivalent of having a sports car these days. Do you know what I mean? So you go, ooh, they turn heads. That heartbreak element with this card, I'm not saying that you got played by Yiza at all, but it feels like whatever that initial connection that was there, it fizzled and went, and the knight has moved on, if that makes sense. That love connection's moved on. In the what you need to know, we've got the Four of Pentacles. This feels very much like when we're looking at where her feelings are currently, in the what you need to know, she is moving on, basically. So Pentacle is work, career, finance. It's also growth. She is keeping her feet on the ground. She is holding her cards close to her chest, literally, with this, and she's just moving on. She's moving forward in her life. She feels the 4 gives us stability, so I don't think there's, at this point, it doesn't feel like the relationship ending was last week, or the connection ended last week. It feels like it was a while ago, and it feels like she's back to a place of stability and moving forward, growth, because growth is that pentacle energy. So that's genuinely what this feels like in the what you need to know. So it feels like you've probably got more of a connection to Yiza now than Yiza has to you. So if that's the case, it's almost like, well, if it's going to be one-sided, then the only person that's going to get burnt is you. Oh my God, what are they called? got the bloody music going on behind me. My brain's melting. The Buddhists, thank you, brain, have a saying, which is, if you pick up a hot coal from a burning fire and you pick up that coal to throw at somebody else, the first person that gets burned and the person that gets burned the worst is you, because you're reaching in for that hot coal to throw. And it feels very much like this. That connection that you have, it feels like that is still lingering for you, even though Yiza's probably moved forward. And then what's to come with this connection, and whether or not Yiza will reach out to you, I don't think so. You've got literally the 10 of Swords. I always say 9s are full, 10s are overflowing. The 10 of Swords, you can see this is, they call it the death of 1,000 cuts, but you've got all of these swords in this person here who's very much unalive. And this is, you know, there is nothing here. The relationship, that connection is dead. It's gone. The fact that it's reversed, I think this is absolutely from Yiza's perspective, because if it was this way, it would be talking about your own perspective a little bit more. For reversals, especially when we're looking at another person, this absolutely feels that connection from Yiza has ended. Right, it absolutely feels like that's ended. It feels like the issues were, whatever, you know, whether you felt the issues were important, Yiza has moved on. There is nothing left there. There is no connection as far as she's concerned anymore. Does that make sense? Let me just see if I can slightly straighten up that camera. I've made it worse the opposite way now, haven't I? There we go. And then bring it down slightly. Oh, well, I'll just move these up. There you go. So that's the top line. When we look at the connective tissue and we look at the deeper elements, we look at, again, what's connecting the relationship or the connection from last fall to today. We've got, again, that that Pent of Nightacles is what I was trying to say. The Knight of Pentacles. We've got that connection. Now, apart from this being literally the combination of these two cards, it's also, it's more of that night energy. It's more of that transient energy that's going on. So we've got somebody here that is carrying the pentacle. They are moving towards perhaps money and perhaps that work relationship. So I don't know whether, I said earlier, this is that stability coming in with the Fours, and this could be growth. It could also be about finances. It could be that money has somehow played a part in that relationship. I'm not saying that Yiza was there for the cash or wasn't, but it feels like there's some sort of work commitment that's coming into play. And again, with that night energy, again, it really does. Oh, hang on a second, Wispy. With that night energy, it feels like there is a rush, is what I was going to say. But this is a rush also to grow. This is a rush to move past. Whatever happened, whatever this disconnection was, it feels like Yiza absolutely needed to move on. Like, whatever happened to cause this connection to break, it was enough for Yiza to absolutely, hopefully I'm saying her name right, Yiza or Yiza, it was enough for her to absolutely, like, it's broken, I'm done, I'm out of here, I'm not sitting around, I'm not waiting around. Yeah, that's what this is, because the connection we've got the other four coming in, that's connecting between the Four of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords. We've got the Four of Cups. And this is saying you don't know, effectively, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. You don't know what is being offered. You don't know how good things are. It's like you are quite happy with the status quo and not wanting to move things forward when something else is being offered. So I don't know whether Yiza's moved into a different relationship or whether Yiza, it felt like she didn't have options with you, perhaps. But it absolutely feels like she's moved on. And has moved on to something else, and is now in a more stable relationship. Oh, Wispy. Oh, right. Hang on. I'm downloading. Okay. Wispy is giving me this vibe, right? And it is a vibe. It feels almost like Yeez have had a connection with you. That didn't work out, and for whatever reason, when it didn't work out, she's looked somewhere else immediately. Like there's been another connection that's happened quite quickly. And for her, although that connection isn't as exciting as the night energy coming in, it isn't as, all sparkly as perhaps the connection was with you, it feels somehow safer and more stable, right? Because it's almost like not wanting to risk the boat, not wanting to take this this opportunity that's being offered here, because we're quite happy, even though you can see this person is wearing a sad smiley face. So it does absolutely feel as if, in terms of the relationship that you and Yiza had, that has gone for her. She's absolutely moved on, is out of there, is she's done, she's dusted, she's absolutely moved on, in a way that whatever connection she is now looking for, whatever relationship she's now looking at, it might not be as exciting and sparkly as what was on offer with you, but it's something that has a long-term future. Does that make sense? That's what it feels like from her perspective. Doesn't mean that you aren't somebody who's able to offer the long-term relationship, but the fact that we've got these two knights coming in perhaps is looking at that perspective a little bit clearer. And then we look at the root of it. Now, this can be the root of your question, and also because your question is looking at Yiza, it's the root of the situation. And on this, we've got the 9 of Cups reversed. Do you remember here when I said the 9 was full and the 10 is overflowing? This 9 of Cups, this is full of emotion, right? Absolutely full. If it was this way up, it's talking about happiness. It's talking about all of your dreams fulfilled, everything being lovely, even though this person in this card is sitting here on their own. This is saying that you don't need to have somebody else. You can still have that self-love, right? But when this card is reversed, I think the root of your question, the root of everything that's happening, I think that whatever caused this relationship, connection or situationship with Yiza to end, I think you are stuck feeling very sad, very lonely, possibly regretful for these night actions, whether that's that you looked at someone else or cheated, or whether there was anything around that sort of energy that came in. Even if there wasn't, even if you were 100% loyal, whatever it is, there was a reason here at the very root that you were asking this question, that you are so kind of not fixated, but you're so intent on finding out what went wrong, because you're really sad. And I mean sad as in hurt and upset, rather than, oh my God, that's so sad. I don't mean it in the flippant way. I think genuinely, your heart was probably a bit broken. I do think you're able to get past it. I do think you'll be able to move on. I just think that it isn't going to be with Yiza, because to answer your final part of this question, will she reach out to you? No, I don't think she will at all, my darling. Absolutely not. That 10 of Swords coming in is very, 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 very definite of an ending, and of it being an absolute final ending, if that makes sense. In tarot, a lot of cards have nuance, and a lot of cards can have multiple meanings depending on where they sit. In this instance, in this spread, looking at that 10 of Swords, because it's reversed, because it's a 10 and the way that I interpret the 10s, and because it's in that sort of future opportunity position, there's nothing there. Honestly, my friend, I think you would be best off finding a way forward, and maybe licking your wounds and, you know, moving on from Yiza and allowing her to live her life. But it is going to be living her life without you in the picture. Now, I think that's perfectly fine. Okay? You will move on. You will find a love connection for you. I just think at the moment you're still in that place of sadness where all you can think about is what might have been, what could have been, and what mistakes may have happened. That isn't going to be a place that you're in all the time, right? It really isn't going to be a place that you are in all the time. You can move forward from that relationship, and I think that, in all honesty, I think that's something that, you know, you do need to start looking at, because from what the cards are saying now, my darling, literally, I think it's time to let that past relationship and that past connection go. It doesn't feel as if there is anything left for it to come back round again. I hope that makes sense, Hakeem. Listen, all the very best to you, my darling. All the very, very best. I hope that you're able to move forward. Listen, counselling is a wonderful thing if you are able to reach out to a counsellor and get some support. Maybe, you know, this reading can act as perhaps the first steps towards some closure, because I honestly, and you know me, and the mods will be able to tell you, the regular subscribers will be able to tell you, if I thought that Yiza had any sense of doubt, any sense of wanting you back, any sense of, you know, returning in the future, if there was any hope for that relationship, I would absolutely tell you. But again, as the mods and the regulars here will tell you, if there isn't, if it is over, I also kind of have to inform you of that as well. And that's what I think we're dealing with here. I think that relationship is done. And no sadness, no sorrow. Look at it as, you know, be joyful that it happened, whatever that connection was. It would have it would have taught you some lessons along the way. Take those lessons on board, and maybe once you've healed a little bit further down the line, maybe use those lessons when you're looking at future relationships or situations. I hope that helps, Hakeem, my darling. I really do. And thank you very much for your question and for your donation. And yeah, that is going to be your reading for today, my darling. Right then, let's have a wee look at that there chat. And yeah, I hope that helps, Hakeem. Right then, so it is 8 of the o'clocks. Who used to say that? That's come to me from somewhere. I've got no idea who that's from. Good evening, Carrie-Anne Medina. Hello to you, my darling. We are going to be opening up another round very, 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 very shortly. And we will open up some more tarot readings. So if you are just popping in, if you are new here, I will just say we do have a little bit of they're not rules as such. We do have some I guess, well, look, the only way I can call it is housekeeping. Before we go on, here's the housekeeping. Tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counselling advice. If you're looking for support in these areas, please do seek out professionals in these areas. You do have to be 18 years of age or over to get a tarot reading on this channel. And remember, please don't share private information here or anywhere else on the internet that you wouldn't want anyone or everyone finding out about now or anytime in the future. Absolutely. I took off the button on my little Stream Deck machine. I took the button off that allows me to press it and transfer across from the video onto this. But I've taken it off. So that's why I was silent then for a second, because I was trying to drink my coffee and also move my mouse, and being a bit cack-handed with my left hand. Even though it's always, if I ever drop my coffee on the stream, which I've done many a time, it's always in my right hand that I drop the coffee on. But Not that you all need to know that. Anyway, shall we open a new round? Are you ready? Because we all know what happens, don't we? When the air horn sounds, that means it's time for a round. So there it was. Look at that. Who knew it was about to happen? That does mean it is time. The next round is officially open. Please do send your question in the chat. Type it with the word question to begin with. One of those will get selected at random. Or if you want to guarantee that you get the next slot, you can do what Hakeem did. You can donate via the super chat system here on YouTube. That way you will get your reading up next. Okay, that is the only way to guarantee that you get a reading next, and that is to do the super chatty thing. Either way, go ahead. You've got about 30 seconds, so do go ahead and pop your question in. Now, the last time we went to a waterfall, do you know what? I think, shall we go to let's go to Stonehenge. We'll pop to Stonehenge.
Ask your question now.
Oh, that's just been stopped. I've just seen a super chat come in. And we've got a super chat from Miss K. Good evening to you, Miss K. Right then, let me go ahead and disable that video there. We'll come back to Stonehenge in a little bit. So then, Miss K, your question is in the form of a super chat. So you get yourself the next reading, my darling. So a 3-card reading from Miss K. I love when people put like their name and an initial. It always makes me feel like I'm at school. Now, as somebody who has not gone to school, not been at school for many years, it is quite heartwarming. Do you know what I mean? Do you know? Does anyone else get that? It's like when we go to Slimming World, our consultant always starts and she says, "Good evening, everybody," and everybody says, "Good evening." And I always feel like saying, "Good evening, Mrs. Williams. Good evening, everybody," as if we're in a school assembly. I don't know why. That's just what we used to do at school. Let me know in the chat. Did you do that at school? Like when your class started, did the teacher say good evening or good morning or hello, everybody? And did you have to say hello back like that, like parrot fashion? Was that something that you did? Because I know we've got people here from lots of different countries and therefore lots of different education systems. Did your school do that, or was it just something that we went through back in the dark ages when I was at school? You know, back in the days of mud huts and chalkboards, chalk slate boards. Yeah, back then. Did you do that? Would the teacher say, good evening, good morning, class, and everybody went, "Good morning, Mr. Bob. Let me know if you did that. Anyway, right. Miss K, see what you've started now. You've got me listening. You've got me listening and feeling like I'm back in school. Anyway, right, Miss K, we are going to, and it's Ms. K, isn't it? We are going to ring the bell for you, my darling. We do this to cleanse the energy between readings so that we've got a nice fresh palette to work with. And I'm bringing in Wispy. Wispy is the elemental dragon energy that I work with, which is why you can see I've got a lovely obsidian, I was about to say skull, dragon head. I've got, this is a little personification of Wispy. Also behind me, just on the jewellery board here at the top, is a little Falcor. Because Wispy's image, if you think of Falcor from the Neverending Story, okay, but imagine Falcor is made out of wisps of smoke, wisps of cloud, vapour, all of that sort of diaphanous type, all of that is Wispy. And he exists as a egregore thought form servitor that was created for the purpose of connecting with the Akashic records to get the information for the tarot. So I don't believe that tarot comes from anything too spooky. I don't believe it comes from a connection to on high, and I don't believe necessarily that it's something that is exclusive. I do believe very firmly, though, look, we've got a card flip just as I'm talking about Wispy. It's the Two of Cups with a pussycat. I do believe very firmly that Wispy helps me engage with that Akashic record, because quite often with tarot, it is just the 78 bits of cardboard with pretty pictures on that a qualified or licensed qualified professional tarot reader like myself is able to interpret. However, quite often with the cards, something else happens when I read, and with a lot of experienced readers, and it almost comes from somewhere else. So Wispy is the one that brings that information to me now. It's a very controlled way. There's a whole podcast episode about my dragons. I do have other ones. So once a card jumps or once a card flips, it's called a clarifying or modifying card. At that point, we go ahead and stop shuffling and I do the cut. Right then, so what is the Two of Cups? This is, oh, I've just seen it's a love reading you're after. Now that's interesting, because the Two of Cups, there's only one other card that signifies romance as much as this one. And that is the Lovers. The Lovers. This and the Lovers, they're almost equal pegging in terms of kissy romance, right? I don't know why there's a pussycat in the sky with this one. Honestly, couldn't tell you, apart from perhaps maybe it's a lesbian couple relationship, and you know that it's a cliche, because it's very true that a lot of lesbian couples will have cats. You know, it's just the truth. It's just the way of things. So this being a deck that is very, very inclusive, and we've got certainly a lesbian coded couple here. I think that's why the cat's coming in and just giving that affirmative, like that stare look. That is a cat that knows it's going to get well loved, and lots and lots of dreamies and snacks and food. Anyway, the Two of Cups is all about romance. Twos are all about partnerships coming together, and that sensation of, you know, two become one, like the Spice Girls famously sang about, that very famous classical music from the Spice Girls, yeah. And the two, because it's cups is emotion. So any two is partnership. Cups is emotion. We combine that and we've got a partnership full of positive emotion, which is that love connection. So this is a clarifying card, which means all of the next three cards, we have to view them through the lens of the Two of Cups, right? So we look at it through that filter of whatever the cards say, it's got a love twist to it. Not just because that's the question, but because of this. Right then, so where you are now, my darling. Oh, we've got the Knight of... Again with the Knight of Cups for the third reading in a row. And that's interesting. Lots of love energy around at the moment. So the Knight of Cups is coming in. The Knights, as I say, that teenage energy, that slightly rebellious go-getter energy. There's a hair loose somewhere that keeps falling in my eye. But that Knight of Cups, that is very positive love energy. So this is where you are right now. It feels like this is going to be... I know the phrase is hot girl summer. I don't know whether there's a gender neutral or like a hot person summer, hot love summer. That sounds like something else, doesn't it? It does feel though that there's a lot of love energy coming for a lot of you in this chat this coming season. It really does feel as if the sap is rising for many of us, which is good. Lots more love in the world. We need more love in the world, don't we? But it definitely feels with this card, my love, it feels, Miss Kay, that you may well be... It may well be that you're having a bit of fun this year, right? In terms of romances and in terms of, you know, physicality, doing the do. And it does feel as if there's quite a lot of really good, positive, sensual sexual activity around this card and around the summer, because the teenage energy in this obviously gives us that connection. Although we've got love coming in here, there's a certain physical element, you know, a bit jiggy. So then what do you need to know? We've got the Page of Wands. Interesting. And then we'll go to the outcome. The Page of Swords. Right. I don't know how old you are, Miss Kay. But both these pages are giving youthful energy or almost innocent, naive energy. So I don't know whether you're somebody who perhaps hasn't had a lot of love connection relationships, it feels very much, let me put it this way. How can I put it without it sounding awful? Here we go. Right, here we go. Lisa Tangent. Warning, Lisa Tangent. I'm not 51. That's how old Rufus is. I'm 49 tomorrow, right? So I've been around the block a few times. I have, I've been around the block. I've turned left when I should have turned right. I've turned right when I should have turned left. Do you know what I mean? I have been up and down, left and right, backwards and forwards around this block, right? I have had the odd flingette or two, shall we say, in my life. All of that brought me to a point that when I met my partner, I was more than ready. In fact, when I met my partner, I decided I didn't want to do relationships anymore. I was sick of them, right? Men were assholes. It's the only time you'll hear me swearing on this stream tonight, but they were. And I was done with all of them. Nope. And I'm not. I'm a heterosexual trans woman, so I'm heterosexual. I'm only ever interested in men. So there was no way that I was going to, fancy a woman or be in a lesbian relationship. That just wasn't for me. So I thought, you know what? If all men are then I guess I'll be single for a bit. I'm not going to look for love, and I'm not going to think about it. And I spent my time ploughing all of that romantic energy, all of that loving, helpful, positive energy that I had in my life into effectively the work I was doing, which was running support groups. And I absolutely given up on the idea of romance, given up on the idea even of a bit of jiggy fling, right? Was not interested in the world. And then all of a sudden I met my partner and I went, oh, I really like this guy. I don't want a relationship, but I really like this guy. I think this guy's like going to be really important. Oh shit! Sorry, I swore again. Oh pants. And this year we've been together 10 years. This year, I think, is that right? I think so. It could be 9 years. I lose track. But anyway, we've been together for 9 or 10 years. Now, that only happened because I'd been around the block a few times, had my fingers burnt, my heart broken, all of that, done all of that, given up, moved on, was interested in other things, right? That's when I met my partner. These cards are suggesting that you're still in that first flush zone, right? That you're not in a point where you've been around the block enough times yet to go, I'm giving up. Right? This feels very much like either you're quite young or you might be older. You might be, even as old as in your 20s or 30s. I know, right? But whatever age you are, it doesn't feel as if you've been in that many relationships. Not significant ones. Okay? Not with the hearts and flowers connection, that romantic connection that's coming in. If that is true, then these pages are letting you know that there's a certain innocence, a certain naivety, a certain openness that we have as human beings before our fingers get burnt 73 times or whatever it is, 4 times, once, before our hearts get broken, before we fall out of love, before we get hurt. There's a certain hopefulness and a certain view of the world when you're first finding those first few flushes of love, right? And that can be your first relationship, it can be later in life as it was for me. There is still that certain element of naivety that creeps in, okay? And this is telling me, with these 2 page cards and the Knight card, that perhaps you are somebody who is fairly new to dating or romance. Now, that could be that you've been in a relationship for a little while, it ended and you're now back out on the market, so to speak. Or it could be that you simply haven't felt that attraction to anybody yet, or you have, but not you're somebody who hasn't dated an awful lot. But let me put it that way, because what this is suggesting is, with the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords, that there is some lessons here for you to learn in love this summer, right? So, viewing it through this Two of Cups, it feels very much like there will be a love influence coming in this summer, right? There will be a connection that you have, maybe more than one. That influence that's coming in, right? This Knight of Cups, this way of go-getting and looking at things, this way of, perhaps being open to love and connecting and perhaps being a bit of a player. This could be somebody that is coming into your life, or this could be literally signifying that there are some fun relationships ahead of you, and not to get too bogged down into thinking that the first person or the next person that you are attracted to and have feelings for is going to be the person that you are with for decades, right? It's okay to be in a relationship and go with the flow in terms of that relationship. It's perfectly okay to see how things pan out, to figure out how you feel about each other as you're going, without necessarily meeting someone, going on that first date, and then instantly planning the wedding, what your first 3 children are going to be called, what your grandchildren are going to look like. Do you know what I mean? All of that can come later. In terms of relationships, quite often the fun summer flings can teach us a hell of a lot about ourselves. And I'm not saying that you need to go out and just look for a summer fling, or just, go and add on to swipey, lefty, righty, uppy, downy Tinder or whatever it is, and say, oh yes, I'm going to swipe everybody and match. I'm swiping up to match them, and down or left or whatever it is, I'm swiping to match these people. I never went on Tinder. So I'm swiping to match these people. Look, I'm swiping up and down and left and right and diagonally, whatever it is. I'm not saying go and do that with just anybody just for the sake of being in a few relationships or having a few encounters. Do that if you want to. But in terms of absolute deep long-term love, it feels like this summer there's more for you to learn, perhaps from some let's have fun together and see where it goes relationships, rather than this person coming into my life I'm going to be with till I'm 50. Because what you need to know, we've got the Page of Wands. Okay, this is where you are. Page of Wands, what you need to know. Pages are that youthful, naive energy. Wands is about your sense of self and sense of security. So this is saying that, again, I think you're a little bit innocent going into a relationship. That's absolutely a fine thing. But don't base how you view yourself. Don't base your confidence. Don't base your self-esteem on having a partner, right? You don't need a partner to love yourself. You don't need a partner to be affirmed. You don't need a partner to be a good person or a valid person. Like, all of that, a partner can help and provide, but none of that is needed. You need to do that for yourself, right? As RuPaul says, if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love someone else? And that is very true. It's a stupid statement, but there's a whole nugget of truth in that, right? You need to be valid and love yourself. And if somebody else comes along and affirms that, then great. But you need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet with the wands to say that you love yourself, right? Wholeheartedly. And that page is perhaps questioning that a little bit. Maybe you're still in that learning process of how to love yourself. And then in what's to come, we do have the Page of Swords. So this is where I'm suggesting that maybe this summer there might be relationship that may, what is it they say? The hottest fuel burns brightest, but it also burns fastest. So this could be a relationship that happens this summer that is absolutely wonderful, and it feels really super intense and super special, but then it also peters out quite quickly. There is going to be some sort of lesson here for you to learn with the swords. Again, it's something that I think we've all got to learn in our lives, how to get over a heartbreak, how to move on from a relationship that didn't go the way we wanted. And it's something that all of us, hopefully we come out the other side of those situations much stronger, much more, arguably much more independent, much more wise, much more, sure of ourselves. I do think there is some hurdles this summer in terms of love connection. I do think there are some challenges this summer, but it does also feel like that for you, my darling, is going to be like how you learn your lessons, if that makes sense. And I don't mean that in a really callous way, because I know people who absolutely love with their whole entire heart when they're 20. And I know people who absolutely love with their whole entire heart when they're 80. And that love is the same. It's the same love. And I'm not at all suggesting that, just because you may be a little more innocent or a little less experienced in the ways of romantic relations. And again, it may well be you've had lots of connections in the past. It may well be you've had lots of relationships, but it hasn't got to that love, that absolute love connection. And maybe that could even be if you're somebody and you're sat there going, Lisa, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I've dated for years, and I've been dating like every few months. I'm dating somebody new. That's perfectly fine. There's no judgment here at all. But what I'm saying is that may mean that this summer you're going to find that much deeper, stronger, heartfelt connection that you might not have had from just the dating world, if that makes sense. Either way, my darling, it feels like it's going to be quite a fun summer. It does feel like you've got definitely some love on the cards, if that makes sense. It feels like it's a very celebratory summer. And so, yeah, I hope it's enjoyable for you. And let us all know how things go as the summer goes on. And listen, whatever happens, just know you don't need anybody else to validate you. You don't need anybody else to feel self-confident and to boost your self-esteem. You are 100% valid and 100% worthy, whether you are with somebody else or not, whether you're in a monogamous one-on-one relationship, whether you're in an open relationship, whether you're in a polyamorous relationship, whether you are in a loving relationship that is non-sexual, whether you're in a sexual relationship that is not love-based. Whatever is right for you, that is perfectly valid. You don't need validation from outside. If it feels right and you are enjoying a situation, then go with it. The minute it starts to feel wrong, or it starts to feel uncomfortable, or there starts to feel pressure, that's when it's time to raise those red flags, okay? It may be that you could be attracted to somebody of the same sex, a different sex, a different gender. It may be that you're attracted to somebody who may be a different religion, a different race, a different age, whatever it is, as long as they're not under 18. But whatever it is, whoever you are attracted to, whatever type of relationship works for you, embrace that this summer. And don't feel if your relationship or if your connection is different than other people's, or is different than the people in your family, don't look at that difference as being less than. It's just different, okay? And whatever that means for you, whatever type of relationship, if it is a loving welcoming relationship, whether that is with one person, two people, five people, whether it's with somebody of, you know, that you actively engage in an active sex life with, or whether it's somebody that is completely asexual and just likes cuddling. Whatever that connection is, if it's right for you, don't seek that validation in someone else. Okay, all love is love. Love comes from the universe. Love is something that as human beings we all need more love than we deserve. We all need more forgiveness than we deserve. We all do, every single one of us, right? We should all learn to open our hearts and accept that love where we can and when we find it, and not to judge it, and not to judge other people on the decisions they make about where they find love either. So whatever is right for you, my darling, as long as it's right for you, you go for it. And with that, I'm going to wish you nothing but the very best, and just say enjoy. Oh no, wrong button. Enjoy yourself. Whatever comes your way this summer, so to speak, enjoy yourself, and I hope that helps. All right then, it's 8:30. We've got half an hour. Hopefully I can get 2 more readings in. So shall we go ahead and have another round? I think we should. I'm on a bit of a roll tonight. I think we should absolutely have another round. I'm pressing the button. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's go with it. The round is now open. Please do go ahead, pop your question in the live chat, starting with the word question, or you can always send it through in the form of, you've guessed it, a super chat. Any amount will get yourself the next position, the next available slot, the next available reading. But if you want to guarantee, as I say, a longer reading, a donation of $10 or 8 GPP, Great British Pounds, that would secure yourself the 6 or 7 card longer reading. Right then, shall we go with... Oh, I was going back to Stonehenge, wasn't I? Shall we go back to Stonehenge? I do like Stonehenge. I think it's one of my favourite places in the entire world. Let's go.
Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3-card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. And if you need help, just ask one of our mods.
Exactly. Our mods can always be found in the chat by the fact their name is in blue and they have a spanner or a wrench next to their names. Right then, so it looks as if we've only had one question that round, and that is from NRA00. Good evening, NRA. Hopefully that's not National Rifle Association, because I'm not down with that. Apologies if you are one of those people that likes the pew pews, but I am not down with the NRA, so hopefully it means something else. Nra. Yep, thank you, Patricia. Got that. I'm not sure, Nra. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Maybe it isn't a name. Maybe it's initials. Can I just say N? No, I'll say NRA00. Right. Let's go ahead. Also, I keep noticing, this is just one of those little little peeves of mine. Let me just make sure. NRA is your initial. Okay, my darling. It definitely... this super chat is supposed to be see-through. Is it? I know, right? It's just a thing that's been bugging me all evening, but never mind. So then, we, as always, go to the lovely bell. We cleanse the space, and I bring in Wispy. So, I'm missing a crystal. It was on here somewhere. Again, it's one of those little things. The more I keep looking up and not seeing my green crystal. Oh, there it is. There it is. Come back, Wispy. There we go. There we go. I know, right? This is what you have to do when you're old. Yeah, Revitalift filler moisturizer thing for your eye holes. Yes, to moisturize your eye holes. That's what I have to do. So then, there we go. Found the other little dragon skull. So let's go for Wispy. We would like to see. We would like to see Miss K donated again. Miss K, can I read for you next on Tuesday? I don't normally read for people twice in one evening, purely and simply because if you like, the messages from the cards can be a little bit confusing. Yeah, is it all right? Could you join us on Tuesday evening, my darling? And we're back at 7 o'clock on Tuesday. I'll make sure you're the first card. You're the first reading off the rank on Tuesday evening, if that's okay. Purely and simply because normally the way that I read is quite different to other tarot readers, and it's not something where we normally read for other people, if that's okay for you, my darling. And also it looks like you've become a member as well, my darling. Thank you very much for your support. That's very kind. And also so I'll read for you on Tuesday, and then also you'll be here hopefully for next Sunday for the members only live stream. Anywho, NRA, let's go to you, my darling. So Wispy, NRA would like to know what makes Henry Liao really love Nadira, and what's the reason he doesn't want to break up with her. Does he really want to marry her? Are you Nadira, my darling? Is that you? Are you Nadira? Are you Nadira? Let's have a look. There we go. So Wispy. Again, apologies if you can hear the music. It stopped for a while, and now it's gone a bit loud again. Right then. Let's have a look. Wispy, what makes Henry Liao really loves from Nadira? What makes... Okay, thank you. You are Nadira. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, Wispy, clarification. So Nadira wants to know why Henry Liao loves her, and does he want to marry her, and what makes him love her, basically. So what does Henry Liao see in Nadira, basically? What is that connection based on? That's what we want to know. So we'll look at okay, what we're doing, Nadira, we'll look at Wispy. We want to know, okay, what Henry sees in you, what Henry likes about the relationship, and also then how Henry is as a partner, right? So does he want to marry, is that final question. So what he sees in Nadira, what he likes about the relationship and why he's in it, and whether he wants to marry. Okay, Wispy, did I do the cut? I don't know. We're doing a cut because I've just altered the question. There we go. Right then, so let's have a wee look. So what Henry Liao sees in you, the 9 of Wands, your confidence, your self-esteem. He likes the fact that you are maybe authentic in who you are and your beliefs. You are somebody who is very, says what they feel, feels what they say, means what they say. Do you know what I mean? Honest, authentic. The 9 of Wands is a really beautiful card for how he sees you. He sees you literally as being you. He sees you as being 100% you, truthful, honest, and living your truth and expressing yourself and feeling confident to do that. That's a really beautiful card to come up there. It really is. Oh gosh, right, okie dokie, and let's have a look. Let's hope. Right, okie dokie. So how he sees the relationship, you've got the Fool, right? That doesn't mean he sees you as foolish or naive. The Fool is the 0 card in the deck, so it's neither positive nor negative in and of itself. But the Fool, as you can see, this Fool is about to walk off the cliff, and then this cute little pupper is saying, don't walk off there, woof woof bark bark, and just reminding this person not to fall off the cliff top, right? The Fool's journey in tarot is vitally important because it goes through, this card meets the Magician and the High Priestess and the Empress and the Emperor and so on and so forth, goes through the Hierophant, goes through the deck, and meets all of the major cards. And there's a whole narrative that's linked in with that. So the Fool's card, when it comes up, the Fool card is talking about the start of a journey, the start of a long journey together. And we follow that Fool's journey throughout the entire deck. So the fact that this has come up, why does he love you and not want to break up with you? Because he sees this relationship as something he's in for the long term. Right? He really does. He sees this as something that is going to grow. It's a journey together. The Fool is such a open card of going on that discovery, going on that journey, going on that lifelong lesson. Because the story of the Fool is that basically, if you like, this person left their small village, right? Because they wanted adventure. So they've packed up their things in this knapsack. They've gone out with their doggy on their travels, with their doggo. They've gone and they've started exploring the world. They've started going out there and seeing what the great big wide universe has to offer. And this Fool is doing that. These are the first steps into learning a whole wonderful universe of experiences, and that is what the Fool brings, right? It's a really, really positive card for where it is. Now, does he really want to marry you? Does he really want that connection? We've got the King of Swords. Okay, now the King of Swords, as I've said throughout the chat today, the stream, sorry, Swords is all about trouble and strife, lessons, hurdles and challenges. And the King here, Kings represent authority figures. It can be, depending on how you view relationships, it can be marriage, like husbands, fathers, bosses. It's somebody who is in the more dominant role in a relationship, basically. Somebody who has more, I wouldn't want to say authority, but somebody who takes on that leader role. Okay. Now, in terms of a relationship, obviously relationships should be equal. Both people should have a say, all of that. And certainly with this confidence that you've got, with this sense of yourself, I don't think you're somebody who's going to be easily pushed around in a relationship at all, right? So I don't think it's about that he sees himself as being the dominant one. It could well be that he sees himself in that fatherly role, not towards you, but towards a longer term future. I will say, Swords is always lessons to learn. Okay, and I would be utterly remiss if I didn't say that for me, Swords are always a little bit of a warning of lessons to come. Okay, now that doesn't mean things are going to go badly. It doesn't mean the marriage is doomed or anything like that. It really doesn't. What it means is there are going to be some lessons to learn as you go through. Now, if you are somebody who's a little bit younger, and maybe this is either, maybe your first serious relationship that you're looking at marriage in, rather than perhaps somebody who's been divorced or almost got to the marriage bit in the past and things didn't go down, things didn't develop that way. If you are somebody who is looking at things anew, right, and is perhaps looking at their first deep and meaningful proper relationship, longer term relationship, then you are going to need to learn lessons along the way. We all do. Living with somebody else, you've got to adjust to them. Okay, and it can be the most wonderful person in the world. They can be your entire heart. They can be your entire, everything about them is so wonderful, amazing, and fairy tale and beautiful. And oh my God, this person makes you feel all of the feels. It's just the most wonderful, heartfelt relationship. And then when you live with them, you realize they leave their dirty socks on the floor, or, you know, they leave the washing up in the bowl, or whatever it is. There are little things that will annoy us when we're living close quarters with anybody, and you will do things that will annoy them. Okay, so it could be simple things like that there are lessons along those lines to learn, but there are also deeper lessons about trust and about, you know, whether people can be trusted, whether you should always trust somebody. Should you trust a husband just because he is your husband? Or should you always, throughout that relationship, you know, trust up to a point, but if your own gut and instinct is telling you something's not right here, you still need to listen to that. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't think there's anything here hugely negative. It does feel, again, with the King of Swords, the other way that the King of Swords can sometimes be viewed is as I don't want to say as a strict teacher, because that comes across really condescendingly, but as somebody who is there to help you learn. Does that make sense? The question and the warning comes, because Wispy is not going to let me drop this. The warning comes, right? If Henry you can ask, let me put it this way, right? Let me put it this way. You can ask Henry's advice. You don't have to take it. Henry can raise an opinion. You don't have to follow it. You don't have to agree with it, right? If anybody in your life ever tries to tell you that what you think or feel is 100% wrong, be a little bit alarmed. Be a little bit wary, okay? If somebody tries to control or influence you in a way that doesn't feel beneficial, be a little bit wary, right? And I'm not saying that is here on the cards for you, my darling, but I would be totally out of line, and I would be totally against everything that this channel stands for, and everything that I stand for, and the fact that the channel is called Beyond Authentic, because for us here, authenticity is where we start from. It's not the end goal, it's where we start from, and we live our lives authentically. And it would be totally wrong of me to say that everything is going to be fantastic, and this he sees marriage as being a wonderful thing, and he's just going to be a benevolent, you know, always super kind husband. Doesn't mean that he's going to be an asshole, doesn't mean that he's going to be an ogre, but just be aware there is a certain element here with the king of being maybe a little bit controlling, and the swords being some issues. So if you ever feel that he's trying to control rather than support, if you ever feel that he's trying to dominate rather than, again, support rather than you know, guide, at that point raise your red flags, okay? Raise your red flags, because sometimes the King of Swords can bring that type of energy, right? I would say you know him better than I do, obviously. If he absolutely is coming from a place of wholesomeness and love and wants to help and wants to guide, that is fantastic, right? That is a true king, and that brings swords into that realm of lessons learned together, ideas moving forward into a whole different sort of way of living. That element of the King of Swords is fantastic, but it does have that slightly less fantastic meaning, okay? And it would be totally against everything that I stand for if I didn't tell you that. I hope that helps, my darling. I really do. Best of luck to you, Nadira, my darling. Let us know how things go in the future, and I hope that helps. But again, oh no, wrong one. There you go. But as I say, you do make all your own decisions about your own life, and tarot is for entertainment purposes only. But I do hope that helps. And best of luck with everything. Right then, I've got 10 minutes. Do we want some quick universe answers questions? I've got some very quick. I've picked up this. It's got no branding on it, so I am assuming it is a dodgy Chinese knockoff deck. So I'm not at all going to say where it came from, apart from the fact it was a charity shop. So I don't know originally whether it was a dodgy eBay purchase, a Wish purchase, a Temu or anything like that. But I saw it in a charity shop for £1. And I thought, go on, we'll have a wee look. So it's called the Universe Answers deck, and it's basically like a Magic 8 Ball type thing. So if anybody wants some very quick and easy answers, bung your question in the chat and we'll do some very quick and easy. I will go through them as fast as I can in as many as I can in the next 10 minutes time. It will literally be a couple of cards, bump, that's what the cards say, let's move on, without going into too many explanations. So if there's things that are yes or no questions, put them in the chat just about now. We're not going to do the one will get picked. I'll try and answer as many as I possibly can in a super fast, super quick round. So go for it. Ed, pop your question in there, my darling. Let's go for it. Let's whack these questions in the chat. Mods, feel free. Members, feel free. Subscribers, feel free. Everybody watching this feels free. By the way, if you are watching this on the replay, much love hearts and kisses and flowers and hugs and coffee to all of the replay crew. Thank you so much. Leave a comment, replay crew, if you ever want maybe a Universe Answers question answered in the next stream. Maybe I'll start doing that, and we'll pull either an oracle card, single oracle reading, or a Universe Answers or something similar, a quick and easy single question answer. Maybe we could do that at the start of each stream. I don't know. If you fancy doing that, leave a question in the comment section down below once the stream is done for all of you replay members. Ed, will I get a lead back? I don't know if that's a dog lead or a job lead, but let's have a look. Okay, will Ed get a lead back? Will Ed get a lead back? Let's have a look. We're going to do the same, cutting the cards. Oh god, they're tiny. It's really not easy to cut the cards when they're so small. I know, right? So Ed, oh, it's blank. It's unknown. Oh, the universe isn't sure. Right, ask it in a different way. Rephrase, ask it in a different way. Right, I'll bung that into the middle of the deck. Ask it in a different way, Ed. The universe hasn't got an answer for that. Wispy, we're going for it. Crystal Rose, why did your male friend unfriend me on Facebook? Why did your male friend unfriend you on Facebook? I don't know whether that's the sort of thing that this little deck will be able to answer, but let's see what it says. We have... No way! There are things on these. There are things on these. Look, there's again, it can't answer this. There's only 3 blanks in the entire deck. Right. Okay, Wispy. For Ed and Crystal Rose, will I get the dog's lead back? Right. Okay, let's have a look. Universe, Wisby, will Ed get the dog's lead back? Crystal Rose, ask yours in a different way. We are going to, maybe I don't need to cut. Right, I'll tell you what, Wisby, we're not cutting. We're just doing a speed round. Will Ed get the dog's lead back? Let's have a look. We're stopping here. For sure, absolutely. So yes, you're going to get the dog's lead back. Right, let's put that back in the pile. So yes, that is going to come back to you. Crystal Rose, is there a way you can make that a simpler question? I tell you what, did you upset your male friend on Facebook? Did you upset him in some way? Let's put it that way. Wispy, did Crystal Rose upset their male friend on Facebook in some way? Did they piss them off, upset them rather than boo-hoo, boo-hoo? Let's have a look. False. No, they didn't piss you off. They didn't piss you off. Was it him that unfriended you? Right then, let's have a look. You didn't piss him off? Let's have a look. Here we go. Wispy, was it him? Was it Crystal Rose's male friend that unfriended you? Let's have a look. We're going with, I'm just going to do the top one. 3 months. That doesn't help, Wispy. That doesn't help. Something's been going on for 3 months. Right, okay, maybe I did need to cut with that one. But we're going to see. So something for 3 months. What is that thing for 3 months? Was it the friend that unfriended? False. It wasn't the friend. So somebody else was there. Somebody else has unfriended you. Was it the male friend's partner? Does the male friend have a partner, Crystal Rose? Was it the male friend's partner that unfriended you? I should have looked at those too, shouldn't I? Wispy, if you're going to make a card flip, it's only got to be one. You know the rules. Oh, no, it wasn't the male friend's partner. So who was it then? What was it? Why did they? I'll tell you what, we'll ask the question this way round, Crystal Rose. Was it a Facebook glitch? Was it a Facebook glitch? Should Crystal Rose send a message and refriend their male friend? Should Crystal Rose refriend them? Was it just one of those Facebook things like YouTube unsubscribes people? Oh, let it go. Let it go. Okay, whatever happened, Crystal Rose, let it go. Don't worry about it. For whatever reason, your male friend unfriended you, just let it go, right? You may never know. That 3 months card is interesting, though, because it's almost saying that something has been going on for a little while. Right, Wispy, asking for myself, Wispy. Am I going to get a £2.5 minimal loss at Slimming World this week? Am I going to have £2.5 loss at minimum this week? Okay, at Slimming World. Let's have a look. Many £2.5. Does that mean I'm going to be, let's keep the many on the desk. Does that mean I'm going to lose more than £2.5? Does that mean I'm going to lose more than £2.5? Okay, you watch. This is where tomorrow I eat 15 cheeseburgers. Will I lose more than £2.5? Indeed. Right. Okay. Yay. Let's see. I'll let you all know. Well, you can find out on Wednesday evening, by the way, over on Beyond Authentic Health. Yes, I've got more than one channel. Beyond Authentic Health, where me and my lovely husband Rufus, we follow the Slimming World plan. And we talk about our weight loss. We do a live stream. It's like a community weight loss support group. So if you are on a weight loss journey, whether you're doing the injections, whether you're doing Weight Watchers, Slimming World, calorie counting, intermittent fasting, whatever you're doing, join us on Beyond Authentic Health every Wednesday evening at 6:30 UK time. We go live there and you'll be able to find out on Wednesday if I lost more than £2.5. Right. MV, will MR contact you again? Let's see. Wispy, will MV contact MR? No, will MR contact MV again? Let's see. What do we think? Right. Does that mean they will? Does that mean they will? Let's go again, Wispy. Right. So does that mean they will? I see right as a positive. Does that mean MR is going to contact MV in a year? Okay, you might have to wait a year. It could be a year from no contact or contact. Dormouse, thank you very much for your comment, but you just pulled it back. Crystal Rose, can you trust G? Let's have a look. Crystal Rose, Wispy, can Crystal Rose trust G? Let's have a look. Can Crystal Rose trust G? We're stopping here. And good luck with that. Does that mean that G can't be trusted? Ooh, good luck with that this week. You'll find out in a week, Crystal Rose. You'll find out later this week. So I've got 1 minute. Shika Magol, when will you meet your life partner? When will you meet your life partner? Let's have a look. We're doing these quick and easy universe answers questions just at the end. When will you meet your life partner? Wispy, when will Shika Magol meet their life partner? Oh, right again. So you will meet your life partner. Do we have an idea of when? Do we have any idea of when, Wispy? Any idea of when? Oh, the card definitely wants to pop up, doesn't it? But it's not going to work that way. Right, when? Have we got a time scale? Okay, so we've got a maybe 6 months. Maybe 6 months. Maybe 6 months for you to meet your life partner. And that is just about all we've got time for. Let me know in the replay crew down in the comment section. I just realized I'm pointing here and you can't see. Let me know, replay crew, if you want me to do that on a regular basis. Members, let me know in the members only chat. Maybe I'll try and seek out if this is an actual deck. It could have been one that came with a magazine for all I know. But if it's one that, if it's something you want me to do, short, sharp, quick and easy questions right at the end of every stream, then maybe we can look at doing that as well. Maybe 1 day a week, maybe on the Sundays, just to end it with a bit of a quick fire round. But let me know what you think. Anyway, that is going to be it for me today. Tomorrow, I will be a whole year older. How does that work? I know, right? I go to bed at midnight. Well, in fact 3 a.m. tomorrow morning, and I'll probably still be awake at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning, but 3:15 in the morning tomorrow is when I will officially turn 39. I know, can you believe it? Nearly 40. Wow, time is really moving fast. Nearly 40. But you know, I'm still fine. 39 is still, I'm more than happy being 39 years of age. So thank you to everybody for being here today. Thank you so much to the amazing group of people that we call our members. No, we call our moderators. And thank you very much to those we call our members or our crows. And of course, thank you all for being so bloody lovely and being subscribed today and joining me on today's stream. Thank you to all of you. I will be back on Tuesday evening, a whole year older. Wow, I'll be headed towards 40. Good Lord, headed towards the 40. I will be in my 40th year as of the next time you see me. I know, isn't that bonkers? Who would have thought it? 40 years is approaching, and I've been reading for over 30. I know, right? I started reading tarot cards when I was still doing my paper round. If you believe that, you believe anything. But I will be back next week. No, I won't. I'll be back on Tuesday. Take care, everyone. See you very soon. Thank you very much, Dormouse. Thank you, Crystal Rose. I will see you all very soon. And as I always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic, and I will see you when on the next one. Take care. See y'all soon. Bye.
They're witches.
Ask your question now. Send your question as a
apparently I'm a
Superchat to
witch.
guarantee your free card reading is next.
I'm the
Donations
love
of $10 or
I am a
£8
witch.
or over.
I am a witch.
I'm a witch.
Sally just came out.
Now the witch is back.